My name is Jennifer Lohmann. I work at the main library in the reference department, and these are some of my recommendations for Seasons Readings 2009. I've got to start out. This is The Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie by Jennifer Ashley. It's a romance, and the hero is unusual. He has Asperger's syndrome. It's very clear for a modern audience what he's doing and why he's doing it, but it's set in Victorian times, and everyone but his family regards him as mad. The heroine finds his intensity very interesting, and he is intent on her in a way that only someone with an autism spectrum disorder can have. It's done really well. The way that she's sensitive to all the different aspects of having Asperger's, his feelings, his trouble expressing them, seeing in pictures, all of that is done really well. The romance is very strong. There's really good emotion and conflict. His family, I'm looking forward to reading more of the characters in this book, and this one was just phenomenal. The next is also a romance. It's called The Duca Shadows by Meredith Duran. It's also set in Victorian times. This is unusual in that half of it takes place in India on the subcontinent during a revolution or rebellion. The main character, the hero, is half Indian and half English. Nobody ever expected him to inherit, but through a series of deaths that can only happen in a romance novel, he is now a new duke. Everybody, both the Indians and the English, are very suspicious of him. He saves the heroine from certain doom, thinks she's lost forever. They reconnect, and she can't forgive him for abandoning her in India during a rebellion. Great, good emotion. It's wonderful that it's set in a different location. It's not set in the United States for a lot of it. It's not set in England for a lot of it, which makes it very unusual for a romance and really, really interesting to read. I like tortured heroes, and he's pretty tortured. Excellent. I also have Bleak House by Charles Dickens. It's a beast of a book as far as its length, but it's just completely engaging. Charles Dickens writes in a way that nobody else does. It doesn't matter that his sentence about fog goes on for pages. You're engrossed in every bit of the page. He intersperses humor and seriousness, plague, smallpox, orphans, poverty, inner city London, the countryside, and then all of a sudden it's really funny because he writes really funny. All together in one massive, wonderful novel. His plot ranges all over the place. It is Jarndyce and Jarndyce, a case about a will that has been going on for generations, arguing about the will, ruining people, driving them mad into poverty, and now you have two orphans who may inherit money or they may not. And it's really good. There's also a BBC production, which is quite good as well. But I recommend the book because no video can capture Charles Dickens' writing. It's just so unbelievable. My book is heavily marked because I enjoyed it so much. Next, we have a biography. This biography, Major, is by Todd Balfe. It is about Major Taylor. It is set at the turn of the century. Major Taylor was a short track bicycle racer. Imagine NASCAR on a bicycle going that speed. Very dangerous, really popular spectator sport that draws crowds we can't even imagine. People died all the time in really gross ways. And this is the turn of the century. African Americans and whites cannot share the same space. And this guy, who is Black breaks into the racing scene. He is the fastest human on Earth. He breaks all sorts of racial barriers and is put down by others. Just what he accomplishes is really amazing. And everybody's different reactions to him, how much he has to work and fight for his position, is inspiring. It climbs to a really good climax at the pinnacle, the end of his career, and the end of this sport. You may see it in the Olympics, but that's probably the only time you'll see it as a sport. It ended with cars, and he was its last great star, and its greatest star, and a forgotten trailblazer in sports. This is an omnibus edition called Miles in Love. The book that I'm reviewing in here is, now we just blanked on it, it's called A Civil Campaign. A Civil Campaign is part of a series, the Seaons series, I guess is how you pronounce it, by Louis McMaster Buchholz. Miles Seaons is a wonderful romantic hero. He has been a military hero. He's saved damsels in distress. He's been a spy. He's run his own secret galactic fleet, spying all over the universe, I guess. He's the son of the Lord Protectorate, and he's got a handsome face. He's really smart. Except when his mother was pregnant, she was attacked by poisonous gas, and so he's also a midget and hunchback. And this is the story of how this larger-than-life character falls in love with a woman who he's not entirely certain he can have. And if you imagine a man who is a success at everything, trying to find romance and failing because his family is getting in the way at every turn, his family and bugs, insects getting in the way. It's hilarious. It's really, really funny. You don't have to have read the entire series to read this. You can just read A Civil Campaign, and you will get everything about it. It will also inspire you to go back to the beginning of the series, which is Cordelia's Honor. You'll get to know his mother and his father, and then you can watch Miles grow into this completely larger-than-life, wonderful romantic hero that he is as a midget hunchback. And my last novel is we're back to the romance, begin and end with the romance, is Flat Out Sexy by Erin McCarthy. It's got the best cover of them all, I think. It's a NASCAR cover. The hero, Alec Monroe, is younger than the heroine, who is Tamara Briggs. She wants, they have a one-night stand, and Alec wants her, and he wants her as a serious girlfriend. She lost her husband in a Dale Earnhardt-style crash and wants nothing to do with another hero who could possibly die on her while she's watching and while her children are watching. She doesn't want to risk her children and her heart to that sort of pain again. But he is very persistent. And he knows what he wants, and he wants her. The writing is really good. This came out and just sort of blew the contemporary romance world away because it is really well written. The characters are really well developed. And as you can tell by the cover, this is a hot, hot romance, so be prepared. And that's it. That's what I got.